Tyke from Groovy Entertainment. Today video talking about my 80 collection. And I got three 80 things, or three things that came out in the 80s. First is the Play and Talk, a machine that I do not have, but I get to play it still on my stereo because I'm able to play these kind of things without the toy. The third thing is Mother Goose, another toy that I don't need to play the stuff off of, and a Transformer sticker book. Let's talk about this thing. Now, this is some kind of big gray machine, and I can show you on my phone because I never had this before as a kid. Never saw it before until probably last month. Let's see, talk and play, talk and play. See what this is. Yeah, this is it. See if I can find a good picture to show you guys. Yeah, that's a good picture. See if I can make it darker so you can see it. Can I make it one more darker? It's hard when the machine is not a nice color. There we go. Now, this is what a talk and play machine looks like. The white machine, white and gray with colorful buttons on it. You play this. And every time this thing says something, you hit the color it says. And here what the tape looks like. And you stick it inside that gray machine, and it would talk for you, and you hit all the buttons and stuff. And the book would go inside that white part with the blue dot on it. And you would just do what the machine says. Now, I never had one of these growing up in the 80s, ever seen one of these things. So this is my first time seeing one of these things. And I didn't know how the thing was going to work because I didn't know you needed that machine. But then I found out a way to do it. All I have to do is take out the right speaker and this thing plays perfectly with no echo, no double talk or nothing. So I found a way to play these things without having to play these things. And I got a handful of these things that I had bought from eBay. Now, three of them I do not got the tape for, but a whole handful I do got the tape for. So I'll show you the one I do not have the tapes for. And if I can find them all, power, if I can, I can't. These things are kind of cheap and high at the same time. You can get a handful of them for like $30. And if you try to buy them one at a time, it costs about 10 to 12. Let's show you the one I do not have of the tape. I'll keep it like this too. We have to show Mother Goose this. The first one I don't have the tape to is Alvin and the Chipmunk in concert. Now this thing came out. Now I don't know how long the thing ran for. So this is a 1984 book. This came out during the Chipmunk fame. Because Alvin and the Chipmunk came out in 1983. So this is a year later. And here's some pictures that I can't see small print in my glasses on. Now, there's no words in these books because the machine tells you what to do and talks for you. That's why I can't read these things at all to you guys. Can't even got games in there. So when I do my videos, I make kind of fun of the machine of the books, but you tend to have the button. So when you see me hitting the books or whatever, it's just me hitting the books because I don't have the machine to. Yeah, these things are dusty because I don't have the machine to do anything with. And it seems like in this book they play music because they got copyright on the back of the book. And our next one we have is the Muppets opening day at Peppermint Park. I do not have the tape for this either. And I think in this one came out 1985. Was I right? Nope, 1986. I wonder what movie came out in 1986 for this to be 1986. Yeah, here's some pictures. Because the Muppet Show was long gone by the time this book got made. The Muppet movies, I think they were long gone too before this was made. You only had the Muppet Babies. You still had Sesame Street, but that was more of a kids show. The period this show was. So you can let me know. Were there any more Muppet movies after in 1986? Or are they just trying to play on that big movie for 1984? And our last one with no tape is Mickey Mouse and Circus M for Math. Now they have Abby kind of thing, math. Too bad I couldn't find this one. 1985. Yeah, let's see if we get some Mickey Mouse in here. I had Minnie and Daisy. So you can do everything in that machine. I don't have the book, the tape for this one. Now I'm going to show you what I do have that you go here on my second channel in Future Video. There's these things that are long and they're not that they're interesting, but they're long because they keep you happy for 25 minutes. And that's long. When you have to just hear a machine talk for you. Our first one is Big Bird Alphabet Book. Now on my channel, we do a lot of ABC stuff. Now I don't do that on purpose. It just happened to turn out that way. This came out in 1985. Now I don't know how far this machine went to, but it seems like it went from went through the early 80s. Here's Harry, Cookie Monster, Oscar, and Perry Dog. Started to learn these characters by heart. And like I said, the Sesame Street got the same universe as the Disney people do. Because the Disney universe, they have their Mickey Mouse, their Goofy, the Daisy, and all them people all together in their kind of universe thing. The Sesame Street got their same thing. You got your Oscar, your Big Bird, they all come together and here Bert. So it makes it nice that you get to run these characters because they're all the way together. Most books don't do that. Most shows, you have one-off characters here and there. I'll show you one more picture. You got the Count and Big Bird in this one. Now I do have the tape. It seems like I might be playing these things every month to make it easier on my hands. Here's another Sesame Street book. A silly Sesame Street story, The Three Little Pigs. So we get to hear the Sesame Street version of The Three Little Pigs. They say I play a lot of The Three Little Pigs. This came out in 1984. And boy, you got the whole crew in this one. You got Big Bird, Oscar, Rover, the Count, Bert and Ernie, Perry Dog. I don't know who that purple character is on top. You got Little Bird. He's a mystery character unless he came out and I don't remember his name. And because I'm not going to see his name in this book at all, it's going to be even funner. Okay, he is a character, but I don't know what the character is. Does it tell me in this thing? That purple thing, Harry? They turned him purple? Nope, that's not Harry. Yeah, it doesn't say who the guy is. Oh, maybe he Telly. There's the Telly monster in here. So maybe that purple thing would tell you the monster. You can let me know in the comments. Now we got. I think I don't know if this came with the machine or with this. There's another book, but it's called the Reading Robot. This book came out in 1984, 85, 1984. Look, I was thinking this came with the machine. Okay, it don't look like a regular book. So if you had the machine, you would have had this toy, or you would have this booklet. Everything had a first thing in these things. Like the Nintendo had that crazy Rob the Robot. This was their robot version of it. That's gonna be interesting. Then we got jokes, riddles, gags, and gigs. This is a joke book from 19 probably 85 again, 84. I'm guessing this machine came out in 1984, but I got a lot of 84 books. Another one like that. We got two more books to show. Here, the Muppet Babies and the Gray Treasure Hunt. Now, this I'm thinking this came out because the TV show came out. They wanted to ride that ride as far as they could. So this had an year come out in 84 or 85. 86. Okay, Sesame Street was this Muppet was still going in 1990, so this is not a bad year for it. Here's all the characters. You got your Amos, your Scooter, your Piggy, Fozzie, Gonzo, I think Skeeter, and all the other characters. Like I said, I'll be playing these every month. You won't know which one I'll be playing because I won't know either. And the last one we have a venture with Mother Goose, 1984. Huh? Now, this is like a puzzle book, but I won't know. Now we're going to talk about another toy that I do not have, but you pull out the right speaker, that thing works. The Mother Goose toy. Let's see if we can find a picture of it for you guys. Talking Mother Goose. See if we can find a better one so I can show you how to stick the things in. Okay, they don't really have what I'm looking for. This'll work. Yeah, here we go. Now, this was an attempt to make money off the Teddy Ruxpin. Now, they had a Mickey Mouse, they had a Snoopy, they had a bear, and they had a goofy one. They had a handful of these talking toys. And I used to see these things at Toys R Us and KB Toy Store. I never had one of these things. Now, I seen people who used to have the Teddy one, the Teddy Ruxpin, and the Big Bird one, but I never seen any of them things in my life. I just seen them in the toy store, and I seen people who had them, but I never played with any of them things. And here's the books that go with them, that go with that one machine, and that thing would talk for you. it would read this whole book for you and hit one of the tape. I have no clue how long this made it for, but to see how I got a lot of books, and we'll see how far this thing went to. The first book is Rumpelstiltskin. And like I said, I can play any of these toys. They just cost a lot of money. Like Mother Goose is not cheap. I got somebody collection for like $40. But if I had to get these one at a time, they cost like $20. And I know why people are charging so much money for a 40-year-old technology. This book came out in 1986. So I'm thinking, so they put a 1986 thing. Now I can look it up on my phone, and it'll tell me more information about these toys. I'll show you some pictures. There we go. So it looks like this. Nice drawings. I have no clue what the things sound like, so it'll be a first time for me. And and then if you had a Mother Goose toy, leave it in the comments. It'd be nice to know who had the technology. Like I said, I just saw it. Let's see when the thing came out and when did it end. We'll do both things. Let me brighten my phone up some. There we go. Yeah, to show you the picture, they have to darken my phone. That's not fun. And here we go. Mother Goose talking toy. A talking Mother Goose. Here we go. What's it tell me? Okay, this thing was released in 1986. The Mother Goose talking toy. And Mother Goose, the voice, was the same person who does Strawberry Shortcakes. See, so you might, so she did a lot of stuff. She did some of the Care Bear stuff. She did Raggedy Ann and Andy Ruckers. And I don't know if she did the Barbie stuff, but I know she did Strawberry Shortcake. Somebody told me that one. I think she did the Poppos of one of the voices in there on the Ruckers. She's been around a long time. Oh, there were two versions of it. Okay, so there were two versions of the talking toy bird. One would turn the head and do action, and the other one didn't turn the head. And when did it end? Okay, okay. So this seems like this thing only ran from 1986. The 21 books in the series. I don't have 21 books. They got special collection, and I don't think I got any of the special collection. No. Okay, they made two special collection books that I don't have. Though. Okay, so this is fun to know. They made 21 books. I'm lucky if I got half of that. Well, count how many I got. See how many of the collection I have. I do that now while we're looking at this thing. That's book one. Now, too bad there's no numbered on these things. That would have been interesting. Boy, he got a whole handful of these things. Now, these things are dusty, and because of the antique of it, that's getting me too. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 12. So I'm only missing 9 books. Right, at 12? Yeah, 12, 13. Okay, I'm missing 8 books. That's good to know that. I'm only missing 8 books. And I'm not going to buy the rest of them unless they're so dirt cheap. And these things are not cheap to get one at a time. Here is Beauty and the Beast. Still trying to read backward because my webcam don't pick up words too good. I'm going to show you a little picture of each one of these books. They all came out in 1986. Oh, here we go. Nice picture. And then we'll talk about that other machine I was talking about in the first place. See how long that ran for. We got the ugly duckling. Now I don't. Yesterday's video, I was trying to see if you guys would want this for our last season or the radio shows that I have. Because if I did this for our last season, this would talk about every book I had did in the past, like Beauty and the Beast, Ugly Duckling. Hey, here we got some Ugly Duckling things. This would be like one big circle if I saved it for that time. The Tortoise and the Hare. Now we just did this one, I think last month. It did pretty good. So here we go. Now I don't know who drew the picture or anything because it don't tell me, but it does. But it does let me know that the thing didn't win because it have 21 books. I mean, you did your job, but you didn't do a good job at beating that Teddy Ruskin. Like the other thing I played, uh, the other bear thing. He didn't make a lot of books either. He only made about 10 books for his time for 1985. So a lot of these things didn't go far. And then I don't blame them either because this little thing cost about $70 or $80. So it costs a lot of money for you to play these things. Unless you were smart like I was and put it in your stereo and took off one of the speakers. Then you save yourself $80 if you already had a $200 stereo in your house. The Frog Prince. Now, I don't. We never did this one before, so this would be brand new to the channel. Peter and the Wolf. We did 100 times though. I know we did the Frog Princess, not the Frog Prince. And you'll probably never see any Teddy Ruskin on the channel because Teddy tapes just to get a one book on tape just to see how it would sound like. They want about $50 for that one thing. And I can't see myself spending $50 for something I'm only gonna play one time. Yeah, these things are killing me. This is Jack and the Beanstalk. And here's him sleeping, of course. Here is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Like I said, this might be the last season of my second channel because this thing goes in circles. So all the stuff I did previous. Oh, here's a picture of Goldilocks. Here's Cinderella. And here's Cinderella family. Here is the Princess and the Pea. And I think we did a couple of stories of this one. Not many. I think we did maybe three. We got like a handful. We got like three more after this one. The Emperor New Clothes. Now we did a lot of this one. And we got two more books. Little Red Riding Hood and Sleeping Beauty. And I don't know which book I am missing because I'm not going to read all the small prints to tell you what book I'm missing. But in the long run, I'll look on this thing and see that okay, I just need these 8 books. if I already want the collection. Like I said, I'm just gonna sell these things. I don't really care about them. Okay, let's figure out how long these things been for before I go to the sticker book. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Talk and play. Talk. Talk and play. How long? Okay, this thing ran from 1983 to 1992. So this thing ran for 9 years. That's very good for a kid toy. But that might be true. I think Teddy ran from 1985 or 80. Let's see when Teddy ran for. There, Teddy. When did you run for? So we're trying to make this thing too. See, Teddy came out in 1985, and Teddy got canceled because they weren't too good at it. They were being greedy, and I think that's why they canceled most of these things. The talking toys. They're trying to bring Teddy back. I'm looking like in here in 2017, they brought Teddy back, but they made him a lot different. And I don't see a picture of the new Teddy, but there's a new Teddy out there. They're not showing me any. Oh, here's a picture of the new Teddy. See if I can make the phone dark so you can see it. He looks the same. This is a 2006 Teddy Ruskin, but they made him a lot different. They took out some parts and stuff, so you can play his stuff on both things instead of what they did back in the day. If you only play it on one thing. Okay, so Teddy got canceled in 1990. So he only made it for 5 years. Okay, that's good to know. Now we're going to talk about sticker books. Here's one sticker book we got right now. The Transformers, and this is like the Transformer movies. Now, sticker book was something I didn't like, but everyone had it. So it's like this. And the only way to see the pictures, and I got one open, is that you stuck these little crappy thing inside the book. And these had numbers on the back of each one of them. This is like 154. And it would talk a little bit about what you did. And if you had finished the book, you would get a book bag or stuffed animal or a book, a comic book or something. And see, this came out in 1986. They even had a date when you had to finish this thing to get your book back. Look at this. This thing said you had to finish this whole book by June 30th, 1987. So this must be an 87 book. There'd be no way he can. It would take a whole year to finish these. Now these stickers thing cost 29 cents. The book cost 39 cents. So this was cheap for the kid. And I had these things when I was growing up. I had a GI Joe one. I had a He Man one. I had a Smurf, a Popples, Care Bears, and random stuff that would just make anything out of. And it put for the movie. And if you let's see, and it came with it came with this too. This little red thing that if you didn't have the stickers, you can look for that and you can see what these things was too. It's like a little 3D thing. I'm not gonna rip it out of the thing for no reason. And read like a story. Now I didn't like these kind of books, but when grandparents or uncles and aunts don't know what to give the kids, they say, "Ooh, he likes this show. Let's give him a handful of these things." And for 39 cents, you could give about over 100 books for Christmas or birthdays, and you had to smile the whole time. I was more the kid that give me a VCR movie, I'd be happier because you could have that VCR tape forever. And I got a lot of my old VCR tapes from when I was a little kid in the '80s that people used to give me for birthday or Christmas. I still got them. Even the video games, I still got a lot of them. But these things was not fun, but they were interesting. Hey, here's a GI Joe one, and this came out in 1986 also. But in a sense, he came out at the end of the GI Joe era. I'm thinking because GI Joe ended in 1986. He was Yeah, the show ended in '86, and then they made a movie in '87. Like I said, you're not gonna see any pictures, right? And if anyone had a sticker book, leave it in the comments. And if you liked them, leave them in the comments also. If you had any of them, let me know which one you had. Here is the GI Joe one. You got 29 cents, and you got about. And if you live in Canada, it costs 35 cents. The Canada would high even in the '80s, and the same thing. But in this case, they didn't try to sell you anything. I'm guessing this is from the movie because I don't remember most some of these characters in the TV show. Because four of these characters look like they came from the 1987 movie. But because I'm guessing this they must have been the TV show because you can't do an '87 character in an '86 book. So that's my '80 collection. Of course, this is the only thing that you don't need a toy for. Just need a bunch of stickers. So we'll pick up one of each. So if you had these things growing up, leave it in the comments. I know I got a lot of young subscribers. I know I got a lot of old subscribers. It'd be nice to see who had any of this stuff. Now, like I said, I only had the sticker books growing up. I didn't have the Mother Goose or the Talk and Play. I seen the Mother Goose in stores back in the days. I never seen the Talk and Play till now. And we might get other stuff too. Like I said, there's a Goofy audio book. There's a Mickey Mouse one. We did some of the Snoopy ones. They just cost so much. And we did that other teddy bear one. We're never going to see Teddy on this channel unless I hit the lottery. 'Cause Teddy is like hitting the lottery. They want crazy money for a 40-year-old technology. Now I don't even want the toy. The book costs more than the toy does. That's crazy. So please like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a groovy day with that video come out real soon.